10 signs he's talking to someone else. The idea that your partner might be conversing with someone else can trigger a sense of unease within you. Nobody enjoys the sensation of being relegated to a secondary position, especially in matters of the heart. Nevertheless, before your thoughts begin to spiral out of control, it's crucial to bear in mind that someone's actions may not necessarily imply infidelity. There are numerous potential reasons for alterations in their behavior. Nonetheless, it's also true that at times, these alterations can serve as indicators of a more concerning situation. It can be challenging to distinguish between typical variations in behavior and the potential signs that he is engaged in conversations with another woman. That's why, in this article, we will lead you through 10 indications that could suggest he's in communication with another girl. If you observe a cluster of these signs, there is a substantial likelihood that he is indeed talking to someone else. 1. He becomes distant. The once lively and exhilarating conversations you used to engage in have suddenly transformed into dull monologues. Your messages receive curt replies, and your calls increasingly go unanswered. Those discussions that once extended into the late hours of the night have now dwindled to mere pleasantries. Here's the key insight: humans are creatures of habit, and when these habits shift, there is typically a motive behind it. In his case, the change appears to result in a certain sense of detachment from you. While there could be various explanations for this, one possibility that cannot be dismissed is that he may be engaging in conversations with someone else. As the age-old saying suggests, where attention goes, energy flows. His energy seems to be directed elsewhere, with less focus on you and more directed towards someone or something else. However, let's not rush to conclusions just yet. There are other indicators to consider before making a judgment. Nonetheless, it's crucial to bear in mind that people allocate time to what they value. If he isn't making time for you, it's worth exploring the reasons behind this. 2. He's overly protective of his phone. Is he noticeably guarding his phone more closely these days, quite literally? Well, there's a fine line between maintaining privacy and veiling secrets, and it appears that he's delicately straddling that line. You might observe him tilting his phone screen away when you're present or swiftly switching apps upon your entry. Furthermore, if he's altered his passwords and hesitates to share them with you, even if you've exchanged them previously, it's a telling sign. While privacy is undoubtedly essential in any relationship, this level of protective behavior often hints at something he'd rather keep hidden. Of course, a degree of personal space is healthy in a relationship. Everyone deserves the right to engage in personal conversations and enjoy moments away from their partner. Nevertheless, there's a distinction between safeguarding one's privacy and nurturing a shroud of secrecy. If he's abruptly transitioned from being an open book to a fortress, it could be an indication that he's conversing with someone else. And always bear in mind, it's not just the act of concealment but the underlying intention that truly matters. The sudden shift in behavior is the red flag here. In a relationship, it's not the secret itself that inflicts harm, but the intention to keep it hidden. 3. He becomes noncommittal. Once, he used to eagerly arrange weekends and vacations with you, but now his level of commitment has become quite vague. Even a simple inquiry about dinner plans elicits an ambiguous response. Perhaps you've observed a reluctance to make plans or discuss the future, whereas previously he was more than willing to do so. You might be pondering whether this is just a passing phase or if there's a deeper underlying issue. The truth is, when someone's interest is divided, it can manifest as a hesitance to make commitments. His attention may be split, and if he's also invested elsewhere, he might not be inclined to solidify plans with you. Commitment involves making a conscious choice to be with someone, and if he's beginning to show signs of wavering, it's worth delving into the reasons behind it. Keep in mind that it's not solely the major plans that matter, even subtle shifts in the willingness to commit can be indicative of a more significant underlying concern. 4. He constantly compares you to other women. A bit of occasional comparison may not be inherently harmful, it can even add a competitive aspect to the relationship. However, when he consistently starts comparing you to other women, it's an indication that he might be engaged in conversations with someone else. This someone else could be a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger on social media. The reason this serves as a telltale sign is due to the shift in standards. If he's frequently drawing comparisons, it's likely because he's attempting to shape you into someone else's image. But why is this happening? Why should you change if you've remained the same person throughout the course of the relationship? It could be because he's encountered someone he perceives as possessing the qualities he desires, and now he's trying to mold you to fit that image. The risk here lies in the fact that such attempts often lead to dissatisfaction, as no one can genuinely transform themselves to meet another person's ideal image. You are unique, and you should be cherished for who you are. It's not a matter of being superior to someone else, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. 5. He frequently goes out without you. Everyone appreciates a night out with friends, it can provide a refreshing break from the daily routine. However, when his outings become more frequent and you are no longer included, it's a signal that warrants consideration. This change might indicate a need for more personal space, but it could also suggest that he is spending time with someone else. In the past, he used to bring you along, introduce you to his friends, and involve you in his social life. However, now, his outings have turned into a no-go zone for you, leaving you at home and wondering about the shift. This transition could be innocent, but it could also signify a change in his priorities. If he's meeting someone else, the simplest way to keep it discreet would be to exclude you from his plans. Therefore, pay close attention to the frequency and nature of his outings. Don't allow yourself to be pushed out of his life without comprehending the reasons behind it. Remember that a relationship is built on shared experiences and inclusivity, so if that aspect is fading, it's crucial to investigate why. 6. He loses interest in physical intimacy. If you've observed a decline in his interest in physical intimacy with you, it may indicate that he's finding that intimacy elsewhere. The once igniting spark that used to brighten your evenings now appears to have grown dim. Hugs, kisses, and affectionate touches have become fewer and more infrequent. This diminishing physical connection can often give rise to emotions of rejection and self-doubt. However, it's essential to remember that this situation is not a reflection on you. If he's redirecting his affections elsewhere, it's a choice he's making and doesn't necessarily relate to your worth. The most advisable approach in this scenario is to engage in open communication. Express your feelings and endeavor to understand his perspective as well. 7. He's often unavailable or unreachable. Recall the early days when he would pick up your calls on the first ring and respond to your texts with lightning speed, making you feel valued and cherished. If these behaviors have become a thing of the past, it's worth taking notice. Frequent unavailability or being hard to reach is a classic indicator that he might be engaged in conversations with someone else. His focus is divided, and he's directing his time and energy elsewhere. More often than not, you find him claiming to be busy, even during times when he used to be available. These shifts can be both vexing and perplexing. The person who was once a significant presence in your life is now becoming elusive. You're left wondering what has transpired and why. 8. He gets overly defensive or secretive. Has he suddenly developed a tendency to become defensive when you broach specific subjects? Does he deflect your questions or attempt to turn the conversation in a way that makes you feel guilty for asking? Acting defensively or keeping secrets is often a tactic people employ to conceal something they'd rather not have uncovered. It serves as a means to redirect attention and evade providing straightforward answers. When a man is in communication with another woman, he may perceive your inquiries as a threat and respond defensively to safeguard his secret. Nonetheless, it's crucial to recognize that defensiveness extends beyond being merely an indication of potential communication with someone else. It's also a sign of ineffective communication and a deficit of trust, two elements that are essential for a healthy relationship. Therefore, it's important not to overlook this sign. If he's exhibiting defensive behavior, there's an underlying cause for it, and it's vital to pinpoint that reason and address it directly. 9. He changes his appearance. People frequently modify their appearance for various reasons, such as pursuing a new job, adopting a different lifestyle, or simply seeking novelty in their look. However, when he undergoes a sudden and significant change in his appearance, it may suggest that he's attempting to make an impression on someone else. He might intensify his workout regimen, revamp his wardrobe, or even adjust his grooming habits. These unexpected alterations can often leave you feeling perplexed, prompting questions about who he's trying to impress and why. It's important to bear in mind that a change in appearance alone is not a conclusive indicator that he's engaged in conversations with someone else. It might simply be a reflection of his personal growth. Nonetheless, when viewed in conjunction with other signs, it can contribute to the overall evidence. Therefore, take note of abrupt and substantial appearance transformations, but also be sure to factor in other considerations before reaching any conclusions. 10. He's less interested in your life. One of the most revealing indicators that he may be engaged in conversations with someone else is a noticeable decline in his interest in your life. There was a time when he would inquire about your day, your emotions, and your aspirations. However, now, he appears to be less engaged in your life and more preoccupied with his own. This shift in focus can be disheartening. You may perceive yourself as less valued, less significant, and less loved. It feels as if he's lost his inquisitiveness about you, and you're left pondering the reasons behind this change. The reality is that when someone becomes emotionally invested in another individual, it often leads to a reduced interest in their current partner. They redirect their emotional energy towards the new person, leaving less emotional availability for the existing relationship. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.